Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you are here. The weather is beautiful. At this very moment, it's like 65 degrees and it feels so good out here. That means fall is on its way. Last week we had temperatures like in the high not 90s, high 80s. And this week it's supposed to be in the mid 70s all week. So I cannot wait because when I tell you we can get some stuff done, we can get some stuff done. Yes, we can. So if you're brand new, my name is Barbara. I live in Tennessee. And so I'm glad that you're here. Say hello in the comments if you're new and tell me where you're coming in from, what state or what country, and so I can say hello back. And if you've been here before, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming back. So I thought I would turn on the camera because today I'm kind of going around. I'm trying to finalize my plan for the fall in terms of where things are going to go. And one of the things that always is difficult around this time is that you have to sometimes decide to pull up something really, really good that's going well to replace it with your fall things, especially if you're on a time crunch. So especially if you're growing outside and let's say you've already started your seedlings or seedlings are busting out of your pots and they're ready to go in the ground, but you look at the bed you wanted to put them in and you still got peppers growing. What do? So I've been in that situation many times, and it's no matter, even though I'm excited for the fall and I know I need the space for the fall, it always hurts my heart to pull up something that is doing well, that is thriving, to make space for something that is new. But that's sometimes what you have to do. So I'm trying to go around because I have some trays of seedlings that need to get in the ground, literally, y'all, this week. I know that I don't have probably enough space for currently where they need to go, and so I'm going to kind of just walk around, see what I see, what can I do to make some space and to see what space I have. So I'm starting out here in the backyard, y'all, because I've had this thing, like normally if you're new, I have 3 main garden spaces, but the space that we use in the fall and the winter is my high tunnel. Obviously that makes sense because season extension, I garden in there 365 days a year. And so we don't do usually fall planting in our outside garden or back here, just because it's so much easier to do in the high tunnel and I don't have to worry about running outside, you know, when it's, oh, the temperature's going to drop to 30 degrees and covering things. Now we still have to cover some things there if it gets really, really low, but if it's 30 degrees, it ain't no big deal, right? Versus some stuff outside, I remember rushing to cover it because I saw the weather forecast. And we produce enough food in the high tunnel all fall and winter that I really don't need another space. Okay. But I have been thinking and I've been toying around with the idea of at least planting out a couple of my green stalks, which my green stalks, if you're new, these are vertical gardening planters. You can see that I have 5 lined up right there. And so I don't normally plant in my green stalks for the fall and winter because it's just one more thing. And again, I produce enough food down there that I don't have to. But I've been toying around the idea of planting maybe a couple of these out because I want to be able to come outside and grab me some lettuce, kale, or whatever I need from my kitchen versus walking all the way to the greenhouse. Because when it's cold outside, baby, it's cold outside. The last thing I want to do when I'm already in the kitchen about to cook is to layer up and drive down or walk down to the high tunnel to get some lettuce for a sandwich. If I can just pop out my back door real quick and get it from the green stalk, that's even better. So I have thought about doing just that and planting a couple of these out. Plus, I've really, really enjoyed having flowers in my backyard this summer. So if you didn't know, I got some flowers growing back here. This is the Oklahoma salmon, and it has performed so well. But when I'm in my sunroom or in the kitchen and I look out to my backyard, I can see the flowers and it makes me so happy. So I'm thinking, maybe, but I would need like a good tall flower. I don't know. I've been thinking about, it doesn't have to be tall, but I can see it when it's tall. I thought about having some flowers out here. I've already started planting one of my green stalks. Like I got some violas and some alyssum and some calendula. So yeah, I'm definitely doing a green stalk because I've already started putting some stuff in there. And I have some lettuce reserved for all of that. It's just how many green stalks will I do? Then I have 5 beds out here in the backyard that normally I do 3 beds of garlic in the fall. Then I do 2 beds of onions in the spring. Which means when I do that, these beds are not up for summer planting until like the first week of June, because they have the crops in them and they have to get to maturity, right? Which means that's when I usually do my second succession of summer planting in my backyard, usually around mid-June, because that's when my beds are available. So when you're planting garlic, specifically, when you plant it in the fall in October and November, you need to make sure that you have space that you can do without for at least 6 or 7 months, because you're not going to be able to plant anything else in that space if you fill it up with garlic. And so that's why you have to be really intentional about your plan and what you're going to be planting where. So I'm still not 100%, but let's just walk around. Let's see what we see, and let's get some initial plans of what we can do, because this week something is going in the ground for fall planting, because I have seedlings that are already busting at the seams, and right now I only have 1 bed that's completely clear where stuff can go. Let's see what we can come up with. Okay, so we're going to start out here in the backyard, because I saw some bell peppers that need to be harvested, and they are beautiful. Let's go take a look. Y'all, I didn't even know I had a bell pepper plant back here. So in this bed, I had mostly green beans, and then I have jalapeno peppers, and then some other kind of spicy peppers. And I had the zinnias, and I had a big marigold right here. So I took up the marigold that was like all over the place, and then that's when I saw this. I didn't even know it was right here. That's why sometimes you have to clean out your stuff and keep organized. I'm definitely not against intensive planting, but a lot of times if you don't remember what you planted or you can't see it, you don't even know it's there. Look at that, beautiful. Another one, beautiful. Let's see. Another one, beautiful. Oh, okay. He decided to come off. What else? I see one more. That's 6 right there. I'll let you get a little bit bigger. What else? We got this. I don't know if you can see this. That's a huge pepper, but I'm gonna let it turn red. And then, yeah. So you can see that right there. That's 6 bell peppers. Beautiful, beautiful. No blemishes. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I decided to pick some flowers while I'm out here. Why not? These things have produced so well. It's my first time doing this. This is the Oklahoma salmon. And it has done extremely, extremely well, and have lasted more than all of my other zinnias, and they're just now looking like they have a little bit of, not disease, but I don't know, they got all these brown spots on them, but that part's gonna go off anyway in my whatchamacallit, in my vase. So yeah, I see I got some flowers on my sweet potatoes. That's good. I have some in this other bed too, so let's harvest some of these. It's pretty much the same flower. We got enough for a vase full. And these I'll probably just put like in a little mason jar is what I'll do. I'll trim all of the ends off. Okay. We can take these in the house along with our bell peppers, but then I'm going to meet you in the high tunnel. Let's go see what space we have down there. Okay, so now we're at the high tunnel. And so in my high tunnel, if you're new, we have 6 raised beds that are 4x8, and then we have 5 in-ground rows in the high tunnel that are about 45 feet in length, and we have 5 of those. And so this is where, again, of course, we do summer planting in here, but we do all of our fall and winter planting in here. So you can see I have 1 bed behind me. That's the only bed that is completely empty and ready for fall planting. But let's walk around to the other beds and let's talk about what we can take out, get rid of, make some more space, and what I'm still need to have in production versus what I'm willing to give up. Let's talk about how I work through this in my own brain. So kind of starting with this first bed. This was my herb bed. I had tons of herb and celery in here. You can see I still have parsley and chives. We're going to let that hang out because it loves the cool weather, so it'll be just fine. I have a nasturtium. That's a volunteer plant that's coming up, so that can come out for sure. But then I have all of this empty space right here. And you see I have one squash growing there that we just planted. She's growing nice and big because she has all the space. I have a jalapeno pepper right there that I'm willing to give up because I got tons of jalapenos. I have some more parsley back there that I'll leave. I have my rosemary. I'll leave that. That lavender plant, she may come out. Then, of course, we have our eucalyptus that will stay. And this needs to be harvested, but I need my husband for that because I can't reach up there. So I would say in this bed, I got half of a bed. And I made an initial draft of where things were going to go, but I need to kind of go back and revisit that now that I know or am finding out what space I actually have. So one of the things that I talk about on this channel a lot is being intentional, organized, and efficient. And part of that comes with planning. And so I do a huge amount. I wouldn't say a huge amount because it doesn't feel huge. I do planning before I plant my stuff. I plan before I plant. Now, I'm working with a lot of space, and so it behooves me to plan. But even when I just had 5 raised beds in the back of my house, I still planned where things went. And you have to do that if you're trying to be a good gardener with abundance, right? You can't just haphazard and not think through, okay, what's going to go here? Okay, how long will that be in the bed? How long does that take for maturity? When are my seedlings? Like, you have to think through that kind of stuff. So for example, in that first bed, the herb bed, let me tell you again how I came up with what I came up with. So the herbs, like the parsley, the chives, the rosemary, and the lavender, except the lavender, everything else can stay. Because it doesn't make sense for me to pull that stuff up and then replant it again in the spring, right? And rosemary can stay all throughout the year in my zone, which I'm in zone 7. The chives and the parsley, they like cool weather. If they've hung out this long through the spring, because I planted them in the spring and they've made it through the summer, then I can just cut those back and I guarantee you they'll regrow. Now, the only reason I would cut those back is for maybe I may think that they're bitter or something like that. But they can just hang out and they can just be there. It doesn't make sense for me to plant it again. So I will just plant around it. And so then I know if I'm going to keep that stuff in the bed, what stuff do I have right now that will be a good companion plant for the parsley, the thyme, the rosemary, and all of that, right? So I can do kale in there. I can do lettuces in there and all of that. So I had, like I said, made an initial draft of where I thought things were going to go. But as I walk around today and I see what's available versus may not be available in 2 weeks, that's going to dictate where stuff is going to go. Because we did 2 successions of seedlings. We did one seed starting, and we started all of our collards, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, bok choy. Did I say broccoli? Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, collards, and cabbage. We did that on the first round. So those are the things that are ready to go in the ground right now. Then 3 weeks later, I did another seed sowing, and that's when I did my kale, my bok choy, my lettuce, my cilantro, and spinach. So those things are not ready for the ground, but they will be in a couple of weeks, right? Could they go in the ground? They could, but I would rather not. So I'm really working with the things that are already ready to go and where can I put them? Okay, so that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. And I did that. I planted all of my stuff in waves on purpose because I did not want to plant it all at one time, because I knew that when I want to plant the first week of September or the second week of September, that I would not have space in my high tunnel for all of it. Okay, and so I did that on purpose. That comes with planning. Now, your space is going to look different. What you have may be different, but the concept is the same. You need to be planful and thoughtful about what you're putting where and what you're going to do. Okay, so that is bed number 1. Bed number 2, we already know it's empty. It's ready to go. Now, what was in this bed? What I had in that bed was what I call my pollinator patch. And so this bed for the summer was full of flowers. And I do that because 1, I have the space, and 2, I want to bring the pollinators, the bees, to my garden. And so I always do one space just full of flowers. Even though I may have flowers in the other beds, That one bed had sunflowers, zinnias, not cosmos, celosia, and a whole bunch of other stuff. It was full of flowers. But as those flowers started to degrade and look bad and disease and all that, we just pulled all the flowers out, and I knew that would be the first bed I would plant for the fall. So I have one already ready to go. It has compost in it and all that. All I need to do is add the amendments. So obviously that will be the first bed that is up for grabs. Now let's take a look at this bed. So in this bed, I had my spring potatoes. And so when those came up, we came behind it with green beans. And then on my Thursday section, I just planted this squash here. Look at her, all bright, big, and beautiful. It's amazing how when they got some space, they're like, let me do my thing. Let me do my thing. And then, like I said, green beans. And then I have some snapdragons that I overwintered back there. I'll keep the snapdragons. You guys gave me that tip to let my snapdragons just cut it to the root and it would grow back. And you were absolutely right. That's exactly what happened. But y'all, I see green beans to pick. Let's see. So more than likely, I'm going to pull these green beans up. And you may say, why? They're producing. Well, I told you we need space. But the other reason is because I got my quota of green beans that I need. So let's talk about what that means after we get our green beans. This one's already trying to come up out of the ground. Handful of green beans, just like that. That's enough for one person. So one of the ways that I make a decision about whether I'm going to pull something, one, obviously, if it's disease, not doing well, it's past its time, of course, that makes it easy to pull up. But when something is still producing like these green beans, why would I pull that up? Well, I've met however many green beans that I wanted to get. So each season, I have a quota, for lack of a better term, or a goal to grow enough of that crop to last me for a year. That is until I can plant it again. That is my goal for every crop I do. Do I hit it sometimes? I hit it lots of times. There's sometimes I don't hit it, right? Like for tomatoes, we didn't have a great tomato season, and I could have definitely used more tomatoes, but we at least got our initial goal, which was to put up spaghetti sauce. And we were able to put up 16 quarts of spaghetti sauce. That will last us for the year, no problem. But I also had some other projects that I wanted to do that I didn't get to, which is fine. But also with our tomatoes, we have salsa in the freezer and we have tomato soup. So the three main things that we eat primarily, I was able to do. Now, when it comes to green beans, we like green beans. We don't love green beans. It's not one of my favorite green vegetables, although I do like it. My favorite green vegetables are collards, broccoli, and cabbage. Those are my favorite, especially for the fall, are my favorite green vegetables. And so I eat broccoli every week, cabbage when it's in season every single week. Green beans, even though this summer they have been doing well, we haven't had them, well, we probably have had them once a week, right? But I have a ton in my freezer, and I went and did my inventory in my freezer last night, and I'm like, if I don't grow any more green beans, I'm good. Now, obviously, if I had more, I would take more. But in a situation like this where I'm like, okay, I need space, then these green beans may be the sacrifice, right? They may be the sacrifice and come up. And let me just pull one so you can see it. So I just pulled one, right? You can see it's already starting to look bad. It's still producing. It's not producing as much, but these green beans have been in here since June. It's now September. I have harvested a ton of green beans, so I cannot complain. So if it's a matter of space, then yeah, I'm gonna pull these out. Versus I have some green beans out there in the outside garden. The outside garden is almost, when I say untouchable, like I'm letting that stuff hang out as long as it's still producing, because I'm not going to plant anything behind it. In our outside garden, we do not plant that for the fall and winter, because who's trying to go out there in the cold when I got this nice, beautiful hot tunnel? Not me. Not me. I did that 1 year, and that 1 year, it taught me a lesson. Girl, don't do that. You don't have to do that. Don't do that, right? So I don't. So that stuff out there can hang out. We probably will not completely strip the outside garden until October, when everything is like right before the frost and it's like not doing anything at all. But right now, girl, if you thriving, thrive on. Nobody's taking your spot. Nobody's taking your space. But in here, space is a commodity. So you can see what it looks like. But again, I have the same plant out there. It can look like this. I'm gonna just let it hang out until it says, I'm done. But in here, we gotta make some things happen. Okay, so that's the 3 spaces on this side. Now let's talk about the spaces over here. Now in this bed, we had all of our non-spicy peppers, as well as celery, as well as some basil and some flowers. And so we've pulled out some of the flowers because they were on their last leg. The peppers have done okay. Like this is a poblano that we didn't even realize we had until we started pulling some other stuff out. It's doing fine, but it's not a big deal if I have to take it up. And then this is like some Ajvarsky. Peppers still doing good. But like the basil, it's starting to look bad. So I will probably pull up the basil. So if I needed some pockets of space to go ahead and plop some stuff in here, then I can. Again, I'm gonna look back at my plan to see, okay, what did I have designated for this bed? Let's say this bed is going to be kale, which I know it isn't because I did kale here last winter. But let's just say it was kale. Well, my kale is now, it's on the second time that I planted, if you remember what I said. So my kale is not quite ready to go out except for another 2 to 3 weeks. So if I know that kale is going in this bed, then I'm less pressed to pull the stuff out because I don't have to have the space today. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to teach you how to think about your beds and how to think about your space so that you can get the most out of your space, the most efficiently, the quickest, and get more production. Okay. What else I have in this? So the basil, I will probably pull up, especially the ones that are diseased and look bad. That'll come up. And then this is lemon basil right here in the front. I'll probably keep that so I can harvest it one more time. Even though it's going to seed, I can use it for tea or for some herbs and stuff, no problem. And then that'll clear up a lot of this bed. I see in here also I have, now this ain't did nothing all summer long. I think this is paprika. I think this is what this is. Y'all, I don't even know. I had to go back and look. It's gonna turn red. I pulled it before it was time, but I just saw that peeking out. There's like 2 or 3 down there. Okay, and then I have a squash in this bed as well that we planted to get more squash. This bed here, we had Roma tomatoes that are on their last, when I say last leg, last leg. So I am definitely okay with pulling out these tomatoes. We have some holy basil back there that I will keep to get more stuff from. And then we have some jalapeno peppers in the back that I'll keep. And then we have some eggplant that's still trying to hang on. And I actually just harvested a nice looking eggplant as well. The coleus can come out. You can, I don't know if you can see that peeking in there. That can come out. It's just a flower. We don't need it. So I will probably clear out. I'll probably keep the eggplant for now, maybe. But I'm going to take out these Roma tomatoes. We've harvested. They're not turning red as of yet, but it's all damaged with hornworm. So I'll take this one and that one out. This bed here, this very last bed, is our spicy pepper bed. And so we have some basil obviously right here that we can pull out because I got basil all throughout. I'll probably leave a couple of basil just for the pollinators. And then this is serrano. We've harvested a ton of those. There's tons on here that's green. But I have plenty, and I also have plenty that I freeze dried this year as well as from last year. So I could pull this out and my feelings won't be hurt. Now I got to do this when my husband's not around. Now my husband, he don't like pulling up anything that got green on it. But I'm like, honey, we have to. We go through this every year. Just because it has green doesn't mean it has an eternal right to stay. Some stuff got to move out for other things, okay? So I will have to do this when he is not with me because that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do, okay? By the time he realizes, it'll be long gone, okay? So that's this bed. Now behind me are 2 of the 45-foot rows. This is where we had our tomatoes, and you can see it's empty. So we just need to clean this up, blow this out, get this all cleaned up, and it's ready for planting. So we have 2 rows already that we can plant in for the fall. We have 2 lone tomato plants hanging out here, there, that I just kept. It still has some green tomatoes on it. It gotta go. We're not even gonna worry about it. Because like I said, I don't know if they'll ever turn red, and it only has like 2 or 3 small ones on it. So I'm gonna get these pulled up, and then we'll have these 2 rows to plant and to clean up and get ready. Then over here, both rows are our bell peppers. And then you can see back there where that trellis is, that's where we had our cucumbers. So part of that space is completely open. We can plant in that. The bell peppers are now just starting to like say, hey, girl, we here. I know we didn't do nothing this summer. Let me apologize. The bell peppers apologizing all over themselves, okay? All over themselves. Look at that. They haven't grown like this all summer long. But now they apologizing, and they like, we gonna do something. we gonna do something. So because I haven't gotten my bell pepper goal met, I probably will keep, if I can work it out, I'll probably keep these rows for another couple of weeks and harvest more bell peppers. The only thing is they're probably going to be green, and I really prefer colored peppers, but we're going to see. We're going to go back to our draft and see if we need this space, if we got to have it, right? And if we don't have to have it, then they get to hang out another couple of weeks. If I need this space, these peppers are about to be evicted. That's what's going to happen. Okay? That is what's going to happen. I see tons and tons of bell peppers on here. And when I tell you they ain't did nothing all summer, I mean, they did a little something, something. Let me not just, they did something. Look at this. I could just, yeah, they're everywhere. Everywhere. What I'm saying is we have not picked this many good bell peppers all summer long. If I could get them to turn colors, I would be in there for sure. Oh, I see a yellow one. Let's see if it's any good. Nope, that ain't any good. That's amazing. My hands are full. Amazing. Why they producing now, I don't even know. Now, peppers are known to wait to the last minute and really put on a whole lot. So they've done this every year that I have been gardening. But the thing is, they were producing well all throughout the summer. Then they just kind of double timed it at the end. They ain't did hardly nothing all summer. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 perfect bell peppers. So, and y'all, I see plenty more hanging. Plenty more hanging. They trying to pay rent, y'all. They don't want to be evicted, so they like, look, let me pay my rent. And I'm like, I don't know. You've been late. You've been late all summer long. Y'all, why y'all got me cutting up like this? Talking about the bell peppers and rent and eviction. Y'all already know. But that's how I be thinking about it. I'm like, you ain't did nothing all summer. Now you trying to pay rent so you don't get evicted. I'm going to go before the board. Oh, I'm going to go before the board, and I'm going to see if they make a decision to keep y'all. Y'all stay tuned and see if these peppers get evicted or not. We shall see. Okay, guys, so we have walked through the backyard and talked about a little bit about the plants there, and we've walked through the hot tunnel. So now it's nothing to it but to do it. So I've already started pulling out the green beans that was in this bed back here. And so that bed will be primarily empty except the squash and the snapdragon that's growing here. We already have this bed. I've already started pulling out the stuff in this bed. So all we'll have left is that rosemary plant back there, the parsley up here, the chives. We'll let the squash continue to grow, and then we'll just plant around it in this other space. So already I have 3 beds ready to go. Plus I have the 2 long rows where the tomatoes were. So that is enough for a really good start. I'm still gonna and I gotta take the basil out of these beds in front of me. So that is a good start, at least for the first wave of things that we need to plant. So I think we have a plan. So the next thing I'm going to do from here is that I will go back to my draft of what I had planned to put in each bed. I'll share that on the next video as we actually start planting out stuff. But that's the only thing I need to do now, is just make sure that what I have available is what I want, and what I have available in seedlings and what I have available in bed space match up, and it's what I want. If not, it's gonna have to work some kind of way. So we may have to readjust our plan accordingly, but that's all good, no worries. So y'all, if you're struggling between pulling something up, your fall garden, this is what I will tell you. You do what you need to do, but don't risk more new food, meaning your fall crops, because you're still trying to hang on to your summer stuff. If you have to pick between the two, make sure that you don't lose out on the fall gardening season. If you have questions below, then please put them down. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I cannot wait to see you on the next video. Remember, gardening is a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.